And to top it off, found a slammer of a shed. We are done here in Kentucky, boys. Found a fucking slammer. Can't say I've ever seen this before. Crossbow bolt, field tip. Wonder how long that's been in there. I thought I missed.
I thought you missed too, but then I saw him, and he was like,
Not doing good?
he's not doing good. You smoked him.
Yeah.
Dude. Woo! Dude! Bird number 2 this morning. Dylan got one with a recurve.
Getting the blind. Not even the blind, homemade blind. He roosted him and a bunch of hens, dude. Yelped a couple times. Flew down. He landed 20 yards behind me. Gobbled in my face. And I swear to God, when I mean to tell you, that bird walked within 4 steps of me, behind me. Walked, landed here. That's my blind. Walked down right here. And I couldn't move. Killed him right here. Look at that shit. First bird with a recurve.
Alright guys, welcome to the Deer Shop Podcast, presented by Siman Brothers Outdoors and the Leaky John Boat Company.
He went and watched a movie that has a $200 million production budget, and then the next thing he watched was our video on YouTube that has a $0 production budget.
This is the first buck I've shot in over 10 years.
Your track job was the first fun track job. That kind of like, I think part of my life was influenced by that night.
Then you miss him 3 times with a rifle at 70 yards on video for the whole world to see.
Yeah, that's what Caleb did. 5 years ago, we couldn't shoot a deer at 100 yards with a slug gun. Now you're shooting turkeys at 100 yards with a shotgun.
Joey takes
The shop is closing up.
Make sure he takes all his right antlers. You can't leave anything.
Alright guys, Deer Shop Podcast, episode 91. It is opening day of Ohio's spring turkey season, and we have a full house. We have a bunch of dead gobblers in here. We had breakfast this morning. We had some great hunts, some terrible hunts, and some awesome hunts. There was a lot. There's definitely a lot to unpack, but we're joined in the studio. Luke Siman, he was on camera this morning, did some calling, filmed Ethan killing a bird. Dylan
awesome.
Horner was able to kill his first recurve turkey, and he also has some stories from down in Kentucky where he was hunting at Ethan's farm. Ethan killed his first Ohio gobbler this morning. His second, that's your second Longbeard ever, right? You killed one in Kentucky last year. That farm's, a lot of birds dying on that farm down there.
Yeah, 3 now. 3 in 2 years.
A lot there.
And then I'm your host, Caleb Siman. My story was pretty goddamn miserable, but we'll get to that.
It's on par.
Yeah. It's the way. It's exactly what we talk about hunting in Northeast Ohio, Medina County, and everything we do is. But that's just part of the game. But yeah, what a hell of a morning. Saturday.
Yes, it was.
We all heard birds. We all had encounters. I mean, Dylan had probably the most perfect hunt you could imagine. Ethan and Luke were able to pull off something that they did not think they were going to be able to do, calling in a bird from forever far away. Was able to get that on film. We're gonna talk about all that stuff here in a minute, but I want to just rewind a little bit. Let's start in Kentucky. So last weekend, Dylan, you went down to Kentucky with a group of guys. This is your second, third, fourth year going down there?
4th, probably. Yeah. It was fun. We had my buddy. They have a cabin there, a family cabin we went to.
How far from Ethan's farm is it?
25 minutes.
That's not bad
Right
at all.
there.
Yeah, all the farm or all the public land I've hunted down there is within 30 minutes of there.
Yeah.
So, but it's a beautiful place. They're up on top of a mountain somewhere in big cow pasture area. So there's a lot of birds in that area. We ended up killing 5 birds total that weekend between 7 guys or 8 guys. And then, I got down there Thursday night and just started scouting, driving around, went looked some public, listened. Obviously, there's a bunch of birds on Ethan's farm, and he was thankful enough to let me have the key to it. Oh, I have that key in my truck for you.
Perfect.
You and Ethan hunted public down there last year, right? A lot.
Yeah, we hunted. Ethan killed his bird down there, and then we Almost killed one on public. I almost killed one on public there, and it was just a crazy time how it happened. But
2 years ago, we hunted some public too. Killed on a different private farm that we don't really hunt anymore.
no, it's a little further north, about an hour. But if we're feeling frisky, that's a shorter trip if we want to go down there for a 3-hour drive or something.
If it's north, it's got to be closer to Born Again.
It's
on,
we looked
on
at
the
that,
Ohio River.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful place. But there's birds. They weren't really talking much. And Saturday morning, I knew kind of where I wanted to go. I get back in there really early, and I seen the birds fly up in the tree the night before, and it was foggy. It was cold, 32 degrees or 28 degrees or something, and they weren't making a peep. Didn't hear them gobble. I think I heard them gobble once off the limb, but they didn't fly down until about an hour after sun came up.
How close to where we sat up last year?
80 yards,
80 yards towards the highway?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was about 80 yards from there. Because I didn't want they were so close to that corner, I don't think I could have got in there without spooking them. Mm-hmm. But in reality, I should have done that.
So they were by the
so
lick?
They were right where
yep, right up to the left side.
Yep.
And that tree stand's gone, by the way. There's a tree stand on the corner there. All the straps are cut off. It's gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. So, but I'm sitting there, and these birds fly down, and I'm watching them. You know, they didn't want anything to do with the decoys. They're in the field, and I had them probably 40, 50 yards, couldn't see them. It was so foggy, and long story short, they worked off, watched them I think I sat in that spot from 5:30 until 11. Dang. And not moving, just sitting there, wanting to, rip my legs off.
Yeah.
They were both numb, but they kind of worked their way off in the corner. They went down. I thought they went down, and it was my time to move. I was just planning on going to sit there all day because I knew they were going to come back out. So I went over to this lone tree in the middle of the field or edge of the field, set decoys up, and I get to the tree, and there's so much brush I didn't want to make a lot of noise, and I hear, I'm like, oh God. I turn around, and all three of them are strutting 50 yards away in the tall weeds.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and they're kind of moving back and forth, and I had a coyote come within 10 steps of me. They started getting spookish, and I should have shot the coyote, but he ran back, spooked the birds. They started kind of freaking out, moving around, and then I ended up shooting, and it was probably 50 yards, and it was, in hindsight, it was too far for a 410. I shouldn't have shot, but he was walking away, shot, folded him. He got up, flapped up over the thick stuff, and I chased him down.
That little corner, thicket of random trees.
Yeah. He ran into there, and I found him, but it was kind of a shit show. I'm not too happy with how it turned out.
Is that where the shed was?
Yeah, I didn't find him till the second bird though.
Okay,
but the shed, I walked probably right over it last time. So, but then we're driving around and go back to camp that day. Went to look for birds. Went up on some public. Didn't hear anything, and then I went back there in the morning. I think. They kill them back-to-back days? Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went back there in the morning and didn't hear... Oh, no, those birds were so spooked they were gobbling on the other side of the river. Mm-hmm. And there's a
bunch of pasture down there.
Yeah, there was about 5 gobblers and probably 15 jakes, something like that. So I left. Those birds were not... I didn't even want to go there because I thought they were too spooked, and Ethan kept telling me to go. And so I went to some public, got on a bird, almost killed him. He was 30, 40 yards, couldn't see his head, didn't know it was a gobbler. And then I went back to that farm at noon, and I sat there all day. Or no, maybe 2, 3 o'clock. Sat there. And this one bird comes out of nowhere, 6 o'clock, 6:30. And he's got a freaking crossbow bolt stuck in his back.
Did you see it before you shot him?
Yeah, I see him across the field, and I texted Ethan. I'm like, you're never going to believe this. This bird has a bolt sticking out of its back, orange fletchings. So I'm like, that's wild. I'd called to him. He was not getting fired up at all. Just wouldn't gobble. His head turned real red one time. They went back to feed and walking away. So I sat there and just kept calling. His head got red. He gobbled, started strutting, and then he went back to feeding again. I'm like, all right, this bird's either just smart, doesn't want to do anything, and I just kept laying into him.
Or maybe he has an arrow stuck out in his back.
Yeah. Well, it was just weird because he would get hot and then he'd go right back to normal, and I'm like, okay.
Was he strutting with it?
Oh yeah. Yep. And then I wouldn't let off the call, just glass call, just ripping on it, and he finally started gobbling, and he started coming, and he ended up working his way through the field, and he came into about, I thought was 45 or so, which I've killed birds at 45 and totally piled them, and he was strutting,
and he kind of didn't like something. He didn't like the decoys, the Jake. I don't know. There's a lot of Jakes in the area. They whoop up on the gobblers. So I shouldn't have shot, and I'm chasing this bird.
It seems to be a theme for our birds
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah, and I had to chase him, but I ended up getting him, found him. I don't know how I found him. He was in thick stuff, and looking back, I shouldn't have shot that far. At the beginning of the season, the hopes were high, and, I grew up hunting with a 12 gauge, so 50 yards is nothing, That little 410 just needs I think I need to aim a little higher, because I had...
You think they drop?
I do, because I peppered him in the breast, and he was going to die 100%. I just had to find him, but I just think I need to aim. I put it right on his neck, which I'm used to doing that when they're close. Putting it on his neck, I'm going to hit low. If I should have put it on his head, I would have hit his neck, I think. But found that shed, slammer of a buck.
Yeah, I don't know what we have to take a long.
I think
look at the
I
hard
sent
drive.
all the pictures of all the bucks. I think it's that one. He's a 9. He's got 3. He's got 4 on the right and then 5 on that
Yeah,
left.
could be.
Yeah,
He's
I
a
did.
3-year-old, maybe a
I f-
4-year-old.
I
So
forgot
that's
to
cool
bring
that
it.
we have a decent sized buck down there still alive from last
Real
year.
dark colored. I forgot it totally.
I should have. I'm assuming a lot of those deer survived. I mean,
There's a pile of deer down there.
so it makes me wonder what that. Let's go back to the crossbow bolt that the turkey had in him. You think it was in there for a while? Like we're
Didn't
talking like a
smell.
week, a day, youth
Couple
season?
weeks, I would say.
Or
But
so-
it was a field point. So I don't know.
That's also
Bushly.
My theory is it was in someone's backyard, because there's houses along that other road over there.
yeah.
He was in someone's backyard. Could have been eating out of their bird feeder for all I know. And he just sitting there like, just shot him with a crossbow bolt, or youth season or something, and they wanted to shoot one with the bow. They loaded the wrong bolt and used a field point, but.
There wasn't like scar tissue around the wound or nothing.
It was literally in between his skin and the meat. It never penetrated any meat. And I don't know how the bolt didn't blow through him, unless it was super far.
Old crossbow.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes me
hillbilly.
wonder, like some guy was deer hunting last fall and like
See, it didn't.
turkeys were pissing him off, so he took his good air
It
bolt
didn't.
out.
It didn't smell.
Yeah.
It didn't look like. It wasn't like fresh, like bloody. There was no pus or gangrene. or anything.
Why would you use
All the meat was good.
in any situation though? Like the fact that he used a field point is just.
Yeah.
You know.
And then
Could have been a kid screwing around at home too.
I mean, maybe.
Who
but-
knows?
you saw a guy too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm sitting there before these birds. I had some hens come out, and I'm sitting there. And I hear walking. I had a stare down with a woodchuck for 15 minutes, like 10 yards, dude. He wouldn't move. He's just sitting there looking at me.
Dude, that raccoon.
So I'm watching him, and I hear something coming up behind him. I'm like, oh, dude, these birds are going to come up this hill. And I'm sitting there, and I see some guy walking. I'm like, all right, he's going to see my decoys and shoot me because I'm directly in between him.
Mm-hmm.
So I take my hat off, start waving it, and he, stops, looks at me, goes behind the tree, and turns around and walks right away. So
To where we park. Where was he coming from? Was he coming from
he's
where we park?
coming from, nope, the other way. He was
from the
coming.
rest stop.
He had to cross the river, I'm assuming. He had to cross that river down there to come up that side because he went
I
back
wonder if
that
it was
way.
that guy with the food plot.
Yeah, because there's a guy down there with a food plot and a corn pot.
I don't think he is allowed hunting there because he usually, I've ran into people on properties, they'll wave and be like, sorry, walk off. This guy shit his pants, turned around, walked right away.
He probably wasn't expecting anyone to be that
Yeah,
because he knows the landowner's old and
Yeah.
doesn't hunt.
Yeah. So either he didn't have permission or he just wanted to get out of there and not ruin my hunt. But I didn't see him after that. So, but then I thought to myself, I texted Ethan when I seen that bird with the arrow in his back. I'm like, maybe he's actually trying to find that bird that he shot. And then when I found out that it wasn't fresh and it was, a field point.
Yeah, field point's just so strange.
And that bird I didn't see. So there's four gobblers in that field the day before. This was the 5th gobbler. And
I believe.
I haven't seen that one with those other 4.
It's like if you shoot a bird with a field point like that, to me that means you weren't going out specifically trying to kill a gobbler
No.
that day. Like you just happened to have it's not like it was. That's the weird part. It's not like it was during deer season and maybe you didn't want to ruin a broadhead or something. Like someone put a field point in a crossbow.
It's hard to
shot
tell.
at a turkey.
Hard to tell with how old it was because it was barely pierced through the skin. It pierced through.
I mean, if it was from the fall though, you would know.
You would
because-
think.
yeah.
You think it'd be pussed and smelly. It didn't smell.
or hard, or like calloused around it.
No,
hard to
it was
pull out.
loose.
Yeah.
Literally, all I did was just
Someone must have
slide
done it that morning.
Or the weekend before.
It wasn't that morning. There was no blood. There was a little smell to it and a little dried stuff on it. But I'm thinking a week old, maybe 2 weeks.
I mean, still not good, but
No.
regardless, the bird's dead now.
Yeah, it was a good hunt. And then a couple of the other guys at camp killed, and
Did they kill theirs on public or private or mixed?
all private. Yeah, they have a lot of private farms up there, and it's awesome.
Did you see a lot of other people out hunting?
Yes, I drove around a lot of public, and I got on birds on public too, or heard one, almost killed the one, heard another one. There's a lot of people hunting public, but these guys, like, it's a family, like they hunt old family property up there, I think, and they've just been hunting up, doing it for years, and they have permission they keep going back to, and it's beautiful pasture country, rolling hills. There's a lot of birds.
Did you go to that piece of public that's by that big giant house on that back road? You know what I'm talking about?
Where we chased that bird up to that power line last year.
Oh yeah, I did. I didn't call there though. But
big house back.
If you you keep going down that road, and you go down to that road, that's your guy's road that he lives on. I didn't know that. When we get to the bottom of the hill, we turn around. So I drove up there.
Yeah, it's all intermixed with the hills, and it's confusing.
Yeah, it's confusing because we use the highway to come in, but then these roads.
Man, I pulled up on this one farm, and it had nine Longbeards standing on the edge of the hill, and I'm like, oh my God. Called the lady, and she goes, you can hunt my farm, but it's going to be for big money. And I'm like, all right. I was like, nope, big money. And I was like, well, it might be $100 I don't know. But she goes, I go, can I at least park on your farm? Because it's all public behind it, landlocked, can't get to it anywhere else. And she goes, well, you're going to be paying money if you want. I'm like,
she must have guys leasing deer or something.
No. You know? She said, if you want to hunt, you can pay me. I'm like, no.
Did you ask? Did she get to a dollar amount?
Or was no, I didn't even ask. I'm like, I'm not.
Human form of some sort.
She was a hillbilly. I don't know. But then I asked the neighbor. Her neighbor was super nice, and she said, well, yeah, you can park here and go up there. But then I was on other birds anyway. So there's a guy actually hunting right down the road going up into the public.
So hunting in Kentucky is fun because you're driving through the hills, and like there's just huge cow pastures up to the top of the hills, and there's just birds everywhere. You could just spot them.
There's a lot of birds. It was fun. Yeah, I love it there. But yeah, that was Kentucky. It was good.
I'm excited for next year.
Yeah, killed 2 birds.
Yeah, hopefully we have less going on this time of year next year.
I will have
probably not
because I'm not going to be at a wedding.
Spring's so busy.
No wedding. I'm skipping FDIC next year to hunt turkeys instead, for sure. For sure, we need to get down there. Let's just go straight into Ohio. So you were using your 410. Your how many birds have you killed at 410? 11. So you were using that at 410. You only bought that thing 2021, 20?
It's been probably 6 years, I think. I think first bird I killed was 19, and that was over here. First bird I killed
was that
was COVID? Bird? No, that was COVID year. Your first bird, I thought
21.
2020.
Year, no, yeah, 2020.
That year we killed a bird over there was 21. I watched the video yesterday.
I don't know, but yeah, killed.
But I thought that was the third bird you killed. I think there's video
because Ethan's
putting a 3
with it too.
Yeah, but that was
22. I don't know.
Regardless, Dylan used the 410 for both those Kentucky birds. But here in Ohio, if you remember watching our video from last year, Turkey Camp Chronicles episode 1, a lot of recurve hunting. Dylan missed that bird last year with his recurve. Dylan took his recurve out this morning. And you said you flipped a coin and went on a whim to a random farm?
Yep, it was between 2 farms. And the one I since being in Kentucky and work and stuff, turkey hunting, I didn't put as much effort. I mean, I shouldn't say I didn't put enough effort. I did a lot of scouting and building blinds because I need some sort of cover to draw that thing back. And I went this morning. I woke up, flipped heads or tails, and it was that farm. So I'm like, I'm going there. And I get in there a little late. I don't want to say late because the sun was barely not poking.
What time do you think you walked in? Because I remember looking at my phone.
I pulled in at 6:05 or 6:11.
First shooting at 6:12 this morning.
Yeah. Well,
but it was cloudy. And
that's why I thought and I wasn't late. I mean, I was on time to where I wanted to be on time. I just guess I didn't realize it was, I don't know. Kentucky was a blur because I got up so early to get in there. Yeah. So I don't know what time it really got light. But I went back in there, and I've seen tracks there. I built this nice blind where I killed one last year, and I went in, and I'm walking down the field edge, and I look up like about 100 yards into the woods, and it looks like birds in a tree. I'm like, damn it. So I'm like, they see me. So I keep walking, didn't stop, and set my decoys out. And I usually don't use decoys, but for a recurve, I kind of need them to have them focus on something else. So I get situated, and I look up, and he's strutting in a tree. I'm like, oh, man. And there's 2 of them, him and another one right behind him. But the wind started blowing. He weren't making a peep. I didn't say anything for a while. He's facing me, and I seen a bunch of hens in the tree with him. I just did a soft tree yelp, and these hens, I mean, they sound like they're on the ground just screaming. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're pissed. they just started going off. He was hammering, and I'm sitting there hunched over against this tree because I got to be on my knees to shoot this thing. And I'm sitting there just off to my right. He pitches down, lands 15 yards from me. And it was on the neighbor's property, so I couldn't shoot him regardless, but I couldn't turn and shoot if I wanted to. So I'm sitting there, and this bird, I just did some soft yelps. He gobbles once, hens fly down right behind him, and he starts walking right. I mean, I'm telling you, it was 5 steps, the closest I've ever been to a live bird. Maybe then a hen, but 5 steps. He came through this little swamp water. I can hear his feet dragging. I heard him strut, spit right there, and he gobbled like in my ear, blew my eardrum out. It was insane. And I thought he was gonna bust me, and I'm hunched over, and I'm sitting there, and he comes right up behind me. He's probably 5-10 steps behind me, and I have no idea what's going on. I'm just looking down, hear the hens, and they're yelping, and I hear him. He didn't make a noise for a little while, for about 2-3 minutes, and then all of a sudden I hear him spit and strut, hear his wings dragging, and I'm like, well, he's actually gonna go into the decoys and do it. So I'm sitting there, and I see him out of the corner of my eye start working into the decoys, and once I see him go into strut facing away, I turned a little bit, got situated, and then he went into strut. I drew back, and he kind of came out. Didn't know what happened. He just went back into strut and just let it go. Shot him right in the back hip. He was quartered away a little bit and broke his other leg or something. I can't remember, but he took off running, half flying.
How far did he go?
80 yards. He just made it. I mean, it was all open field, and he hit the side of the hill and then biffed it. And I chased him, and I didn't want to tackle him with an arrow sticking out of him.
Right,
So he was in a bush, and I just shot him again. That way I didn't have to chase him. But, yeah, it was...
I didn't know you had to shoot him again.
Yeah, I did.
Your video made it look like he was dead right in the decoys.
Well, the first video I sent, he was on the wood line.
Yeah. I was, like, in the middle of my hunt. And
trying to watch it without sound on.
Yep.
Yeah, the first video, he was on the edge of the tree line because that's where he was. Or when I first killed him, I took him back over by the decoys, took a video. So... yeah, it was never done that before. It was crazy. It was fun.
So now you've killed a doe, you've killed a gobbler.
Yep.
Next year you gotta try to kill a buck with that thing, huh?
That's a plan. I love it.
Are you gonna hunt with it exclusively this fall, or are you gonna?
I did last year, except for going to Ohio.
Public,
yeah. And I couldn't thank Andy enough too for helping me with the shit because I would have no idea where I'm at with it and getting things tuned and the arrows and figuring that out, and it was...
Every once in a while I get bored, I take Isaac's down in the yard, and I'm like shooting it, and then like, ba-ding, and it hits a pine tree and like flings down. I'm like, I can't do that.
No, once you start shooting, I shot a lot. I practiced a lot last year, and I thought I got good with it. But it's just all instinctive, it's not... But I'm pretty... first shot, I picked it up a couple weeks ago since deer season, picked it up, 10-ringed it. I mean... now it's like more of a muscle memory kind of thing with it. So, but yeah, it's awesome. It was a lot of fun, and I think I'm going to continue to try to do Ohio with one every year.
And then your turkey hunting plans are continuing this spring still.
I'm leaving
Kentucky, Ohio, and then where to next?
I'm going in 2 weeks. I will be in Nebraska and South Dakota. We got 2 Nebraska tags, 1 South Dakota tag, and then if we all end up, there's 3 of us, so if we all end up killing, we can bounce over to Montana or Wyoming and do an over-the-counter. I think Wyoming is. I know Montana's over-the-counter.
Okay, that's
so
sweet.
How many turkeys are you planning on killing this spring?
I don't know. I'm up to 3. So
all of them.
I'm up to 3, so if
I've never killed 3 in a season before. I've only ever killed 2.
2's been my most.
Got me beat.
This has been a crazy year.
You've hunted 3 times and killed 3 birds. Well, 3 days.
Much.
3 days and
4.
3 birds.
Well, the other one day I wasn't.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Saturday, Sunday.
Or Saturday, Sunday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You did the scouting before that, but yeah, I mean.
Yeah. I was not expecting to see a turkey at this farm this morning.
I didn't think you were going to hunt this morning.
Oh, I was.
You were texting from the casino last night. I'm like, you're like, it's windy, it's going to be rainy. Like,
no,
good luck, boys.
I just didn't want to go.
I was figuring that he.
Oh no, I don't miss it. I don't miss it.
What kind of birds are you guys hunting out there?
Merriams. Yeah.
There's easterns as well, correct?
Yeah, in the eastern part of the state, I think. I don't know much about it, but I'm pretty sure there's Rios too in like the eastern or central part of Nebraska, and I don't know for sure. Someone out there might know better than I do, but I think they're mixed with Merriams. I think they're like
you guys
a cross.
Are out there bear hunting. You guys saw a bunch of easterns in the foothills of the mountains, correct, of Montana?
So down low in the bottoms were easterns, but up top and out in the plains, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like where we're hunting is going to be mostly Merriams, but if I don't know, we might stop halfway through Nebraska, or one side of Nebraska, and there's I think they're a mix between Rios and Merriams, where the feathers are a little more gold color instead of that
if
real
you
white.
see an Eastern, are you shooting him?
I don't think so.
Are you gonna?
I mean,
hold off?
probably. If I have a bird in my face goblin, I'm gonna shoot him.
Are you going to get a full body mount?
I think so.
Is your wife going to let you put one in your house?
I don't care.
Get to build a barn for it.
How many gobblers do you have mounted there now? Like full body?
I just have one.
You just have
I don't. It's still.
Is
at my
that your
parents'
dad? I would
house.
say, is that still your
I need to
dad's?
get it over. I need to get in the basement there. But I was just counting the other day. I think I have 19 or 20 something sets of spurs and 8 fans on the wall. But I've lost and mice chewed them up, and I've lost some. I probably.
That's why I put them up high.
Yeah.
I'm bringing 2 more fans somewhere to put in this shop. I don't know where we're going to put them. But
I saw a post on Facebook and someone had 5 dead mounts, like their slam, all dead mounts, hanging from their wall, and it looked really, really cool.
the problem is you need vaulted ceiling shops for places like that.
I could put
20-foot ceilings.
I could put a bird.
You could line 5 up on that.
I think
ceiling.
I'm gonna mount a Merriam's, is what I think.
You just need to build a 60 by 40 with 25-foot ceilings.
Yeah,
on that.
I thought about it. Look, there's a mess from last year too.
Yeah, after out west, you're going to Pennsylvania, correct?
Yep, we'll be back the 11th, and then that weekend we're doing a family camping trip Thursday through Sunday, and you can only hunt. You can't hunt Sundays in PA, so we're hunting Thursday or Friday, Saturday, or me and my brother are. And then I'll be hunting there for the next 3 weeks till the end of the season.
And I'm missing that first weekend when you go with your family. Me and Isaac are going to our TAC event down in West Virginia, but I think that following weekend after that, I think
I'll be there every week.
Depending on
what
schedule.
are you doing the first weekend of Pennsylvania?
Nothing.
May when
he's gone.
May, so it opens on Thursday.
Yeah, he's gone. So
because Pennsylvania always does May 1 through May 30th, and May 1 is on a Thursday.
Yep.
So it's
I'm
open
leaving that Thursday to go out west.
Yeah, it's open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, closes Sunday, and then because they don't do Sunday. So I believe it opens.
Yeah, so I'm gonna miss the first 2 weekends technically.
Because I'm off that first weekend of PA season.
Well,
but that was where are we going to go to Gores, Southern Ohio, Gores, West Virginia, Pennsylvania? Where are we going to end up that weekend? Because my wife thought we were trout fishing that weekend, so she didn't schedule herself for work. And then she's like, "Oh, you're going to be gone this weekend, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." But I don't know where that's going to be yet. So I have that weekend off, and I
wasn't expecting to kill a turkey in Ohio so quick.
Well, the fact that you have one down, maybe if we do go to Gores or something, maybe he'll let you come down as a cameraman, or we'll figure something out. But
I'm down for whatever.
Yeah, I mean, this is
the wind.
Yeah, this is a perfect segue. So, Dylan's killed every bird there is known to man. Ethan this morning had a perfect hunt that happened in a way that they weren't expecting, but I mean, you guys will take it, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked. It worked really, really good. We killed the bird we weren't trying to kill, but we killed one. So
and sometimes that's the best way to do it. You guys are hunting Luke's farm, obviously.
We killed a bird that we didn't know existed.
That's what I was just going to ask. You didn't know he was down there?
No clue. We're sitting there.
What? Sorry to interrupt, but when you text there's a bird to the east and the west, do you think that's a bird that was to the east or west of you guys?
Yeah.
That could have just been looped around.
No, he was always.
He came from the west, and then he came in from the west.
Okay.
Because the first bird we heard this morning, right off the roof, was the one to the east, the one we were expecting to hopefully pull across.
The one you had patterned.
And we got everyone in the township was sent us Snapchats and pictures like, "Hey, this bird's."
Everyone knows that bird exists where it does.
Well, they were together a couple mornings ago.
Yeah.
Across.
Yeah.
So me and Caleb set up a blind 2 days ago.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a situation worth hunting, so we set a blind up.
We'll have to go look at the film that I took the other day and see if he has the color-changing beard. The color-face beard that I have on my bird. Yeah. We'll see if it's the same bird.
And I also filmed 3 different gobblers in that area last week, so we know that there was multiple birds in that spot.
And we're sitting there. We heard one that we knew we were going to hear, and then the wind's howling, so we couldn't really hear. And then it was like, Pooh! And we look like, huh. There's one down there.
Probably hard to hear in that blind too.
Yeah, I mean, you dream of mornings like that.
Well,
birds gobbling.
We've had so many birds gobble from that direction, and me and Dylan called him in 1 year.
I mean, I killed a bird.
I missed.
I killed a bird there
from that direction.
From that direction.
So most times that we hear birds from that direction, they just never come in. But this one came in
just alone.
Yeah, all by himself.
I kicked him off and wanted to tussle.
I mean, it's perfect because we were sitting on a field edge with a little hoop out of it. We're sitting there with the decoys, and there's a bend to the left and a bend to the right, and Luke's like, there he is.
Yeah, I saw him coming.
So from first gobble to him being in range, how long?
25 minutes?
25 minutes.
How many times did he gobble, you think?
Maybe 10 times.
Yeah. once
And
every
just
2
closer
minutes.
every time.
Every time he was getting closer, every time he'd gobble. Then he
That's the
then he was
dream.
quiet for like 10 minutes, and I sat there and I looked at Ethan and I said, he's gonna either be gone or he's gonna come running in.
I figured he'd walk
across this
down that
field.
road, you know.
Yeah.
And in the video, he was running.
And then, and then like I look up and I see him across the field. He is just running full sprint, and I'm like, Ethan.
Well, sometimes I think like when this, obviously he's a satellite bird, he got busted up from his rebirth, but like sometimes I think, you know, at night he ended up maybe following a hen away from everyone else, and they went and roosted, and then this morning she flies down, boom, sits on the nest. So then he's all alone, and he knows his buddies and the commotion are over this way, and that's when they could just come running.
I mean, it couldn't have worked any more perfect. Like we're sitting there, and I'm like, dude,
you dream about that.
I'm like, this turkey is going to be either running in, or we're not going to see or hear him for the rest of the day. And then 10 minutes later, I see him like through the woods in the field, just sprinting, and his beard just going sideways. And he comes in. I get the camera on, and like right as he like hits the corner,
he does a quick strut.
He struts it when he sees the decoys, and then he just walks right in, gobbles right at the blind 10 yards away, and then Ethan shoots him right in the breast, and he runs away.
More of like the back and the wing, right?
It was more of a 25-yard shot. Let's give me a little bit of credit here. But, I mean, he was dead. He's dead, so it doesn't matter.
He is dead.
Well, like Ethan shoots him, and we thought he missed.
Yeah, I'm like crying.
So Ethan's like trying to reload his like 99-cent 410 single shot.
Yeah.
I start calling again, and I'm like, I'm watching him in the woods, and he ran away, and he slowed down. He's only like 40 yards away, and I see him, and I'm trying to call at him, and then he's like crippled, and he's like, you know, he's like kind of like not walking right.
Took one to the
Then
gut.
Ethan's like, should I chase after him? Like, yeah, go get him, because like he's gonna die right over there. And Ethan, I fumbled around with the camera for a little bit, trying to get it off the tripod, and Ethan ran right up to him and grabbed him.
That's the only thing.
He was dead by the time you got up
So
there.
like, and I know that they work well with the TSS, the 410. They're lighter. They're perfect for packing. I mean, all the advantages of it. But this is what me and Jay talked about this in the podcast the other day. Like the 410s aren't 12 gauges, and like
they're just
sometimes like you forget that you don't have your 12 gauge, and like
it's kind of how I was. In Kentucky.
like because
just
like
too far.
Perfect example. We got 3 guys in the group here. Or 3 birds that got killed by 410s in the group, had chased every single one down. They all died. They were all dead.
I can't say that the last 9 or 7, whatever birds I killed with that thing, they've just
and I watched you. We have video of you hunting here, folding one at 40 yards if you hit him good. But like, we know Ethan's gun's off a little bit because, like Luke said, it's a 99-cent fucking BB gun.
It's killed 2 birds on 2 shots, and better than your gun.
My gun's killed like 12 on 20 shots.
And
there's a big of a difference.
6 trees.
Yeah, but that's not the gun. It
The
blew through those trees, no problem.
Single shot scares me because like you could have used it. I mean, the bird did die, but having that extra shot of him running away,
well, the bird died, and you waited for a very good shot. Like you weren't shooting 50 or 60 yards unexperienced. Like Dylan shot 11 birds with your gun and killed them all with your 410, shooting 50 yards or whatever. But Ethan was like responsible. Let the bird come in. He was in the decoys and shot him. And
we knew Ethan was going to be excited because he hasn't killed.
Oh, he was so. I'm sitting there.
But like that bird would have strutted his ass off around them.
He would have, and I thought Ethan was going to let him sit there for a second. So I took my hands off the camera. I said, "Whenever you're ready," and then just boom.
I mean, that's fine.
And he killed him.
The bird was moving when he shot, which also
that's how I was in Kentucky, dude. I was creaming my jeans. Birds gobbling first hunt of the season. I'm like, oh yeah.
So the bird was moving when you shot, which might also be why you shot a little bit low down.
I mean, his head.
They are moving, and those guns aren't fast. Like we're shooting 120 frame video, you can see the wad in the pellets like just moving at the bird. But
I mean, the bird's dead. He was in, I don't know, 15, 20, 25 yards maybe.
I mean, you guys did exactly what we talked
perfect.
about. Went out and killed a bird.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to buy a 28 gauge. The guys that I was hunting with in Kentucky, they all have 28s, and
that's what Leopard uses, 28 gauge double barrel. So he's got 2 shots.
Well,
he's got a follow up.
But they pattern 60 yards. Fucking dead. Hunter claims, 60 yards is what he'll shoot a bird at with that. So it's similar to a 12 gauge,
obviously.
Yeah. But not, like same style, light gun, but when I go out west, I'm taking my 12 gauge. I'm not going to mess around with.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to bring 410 for a backup, but
you kind of have to. You're not taking the recurve for that.
No, I don't.
I mean, if you go to Montana and hunt them river bottoms with decoys,
you could.
I mean, that recurve.
I don't want to waste the room because there's going to be 3 guys. We're going to have 3 e-bikes. We're going to have coolers. We're going to have giant tent.
Oh, you guys just taking one truck?
Yep.
You taking a trailer?
Nope.
Are you going to fit all that stuff in there?
Yeah. Well, either we're gonna put the cooler rack on the back, put all the coolers and totes, or all the e-bikes will fit. They lock like almost interlock to each other, standing up in the bed.
Okay.
Only take up about half the size of the bed, and then we have the other half. Or he's got a hitch rack for the bikes. We put 2 bikes on there, and the rest of shit in the bed. So
yeah, that should be fun for you. I'm excited for you.
I'm excited. I'm excited because we were talking about renting a cabin or doing like an Airbnb, and then Hunter and Josh were talking. They're like, well, let's just camp. And I'm like, I'm down to do that. So
got a big wall.
Save you a lot of money. Those Airbnbs used to be cheap out there, but now since it's like touristy type.
Well,
stuff,
he found he has a cabin I think he stayed at before where the area that we're hunting in, and he it was cheap, like maybe $100 a night.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. Sleep 3 guys, but it's nice. We'll be a little more mobile, be able to pack up camp, move when we want to. We don't got to be tied down to having a place, canceling and.
How many
like
weeks
that.
are you going to be?
Just a week, a little over a week. We're leaving
9 days or something,
Thursday night. Get there Friday morning. We're gonna drive through the night and technically start hunting Friday during the day and figure out where we want to go, where we're gonna be, and then we'll leave no later than that following Saturday, I think. So I'm excited.
Cool.
Still got a lot of turkey hunting to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Luke
mean,
should
we
go
got
kill one right now.
29 days left here in
No, we're
Ohio.
not going. Not today.
I've been watching this entire podcast. I've been watching my
So
cell
you,
cams.
you keep on saying 29 days, but isn't season end June 1st, or is that just when the tag expires? I bought a tag yesterday.
No, the season ends May 19th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
'Cause the tag that I have is good till June 1st.
Because there's
Because there's
other
a
counties.
North
there's that
zone?
north zone that's not
Gotcha.
open yet.
Okay,
Yeah, the north zone that's not open yet.
that makes sense.
We can talk about my morning real quick.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So I want to preface this by saying, like, because I don't know if these guys will listen. They probably will. I don't know if these guys listen to our podcast
No idea.
or not. Someone in their extended circle will probably listen to the podcast. The guys that I'm going to talk about this morning, or the situation I'm going to talk about this morning, they didn't do anything wrong or illegal. But I was out this morning. I had a bird pattern, I mean, as good as you could possibly pattern a bird. I've been watching him on trail camera for the last week and a half. Almost every night he's been roosting in the same general area.
I've seen him in person.
Yeah, Ethan's seen him in person. Almost every morning he's been coming down and making his way out into our wheat field and doing the same general thing. So we've been laying off of him. I only went in one time to check the blind, set up a couple cell cameras and trail cameras and get out. And we haven't been in there since, just waiting on this bird. We've only ever had the one solo bird here at the home farm on the camera. And, this morning or last night, I was going to go roost him, but we got, cell camera video of him at 7:30 walking in the middle of the farm. So we knew he was going to be around. So I went somewhere else and didn't even bother him. Got set up this morning. There wasn't a lot of action going on early. It was pretty quiet in the woods. Like they said earlier, it was a little bit windy. Rain was coming.
It's actually a nicer morning than what it was expected.
Very much.
I mean, it was
supposed
windy.
to be complete rain out.
It was windy, but it was warm.
Right.
I mean, it felt like a really springy morning.
Yep. And since it was so overcast, the moon was like full or close to full right now, but it's so overcast that there was barely any light coming through. So all the birds were sleeping a lot longer. And the first sounds that I heard, I think he may have distantly gobbled, probably only like 10 minutes before legal light, but it was still really, really dark. And then out in front of me, 100 yards, those guys right there that are actually watching on the TV, out in front of me, 100 yards, I heard, yep, 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 someone calling. This is the same situation. If you watch any of our videos, it happened to me in 2022, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2022, where there's guys that have permission to hunt the neighboring farm, which butts up against our field. They're all set up in a spot basically 100 yards off the property line, 75 to 100 yards off the property line. And they kind of position themselves in between where the birds roost on the edge of this big ravine and then where they come out into our field. And this morning, I'm up in the elevated radix, and they're calling. It took me about 10 minutes with my binoculars and video camera to look around. I found them. I found his decoy first, and then I found them. They're sitting in the same spot that they always sit in. And a bunch of real hens started going off, and I heard the gobbler call he gobbled 3 or 4 times, and every time was a little bit closer. And then the other hunters were calling, and then it went real silent for like an hour. Not a single sound. They would call every once in a while. I ended up calling just a little bit to let them know that I was there, or at least hope that they would know that I was there. And then I watched them pick up their decoys and head off to the north. It took them about 10 minutes, and it was still silent, barely any calling. I don't think they called at all, and I didn't hear any gobbling or anything. And then, boom, heard a shot like I don't know, maybe 150 yards to my west. So then I sat there for a while, started to rain. I had a hen come out in the field, start feeding. I did a little bit of calling, and then I sent him a text message or a Facebook message. Was that you guys that shot? And then he sent me back, yeah. We shot. So-and-so got his second bird or got another bird. They snuck up. He said they snuck up to the edge, and he was just strutting down below, and they just got a shot off without doing any calling. So there, like I said, there's nothing that they did wrong or illegal. It's just when you're in my shoes and my situation where I'm hunting our property right here, there's nothing I can do to get those birds to not walk through them to get to me. So, and it's the second time it's happened. So it's kind of a punch in the gut, but it's deer hunting in Northeast Ohio, or hunting in Northeast Ohio, like we've talked about it.
Oh yeah.
There's only one gobbler, and there were 3 different guys in the woods going after that bird this morning. You know, and that's just the way it plays out. So unfortunately for me, I'm the only guy sitting here that wasn't involved in a bird. Well, I was kind of involved in a bird kill.
But we know where those gobblers goddamn roost on that ridge.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly.
And so do they.
I know exactly where those birds are going to be every year opening day. They're in the same exact spot, and they also know that, and they always.
We thought that we were going to be in that situation, me and Ethan.
Yeah,
because we know someone's hunting the roosting property for that bird we were trying to kill.
Yep,
couple
different people actually.
Yeah, a couple different people.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way hunting goes, but. That bird that I've had my eyes on for the last couple of weeks, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's done. He's toast.
But it's not the end of the season.
No.
There's still birds around.
Like we said, 29 more days.
Yeah. There's a decent number of birds.
We haven't had multiple birds on the farm like that in a video at the same time. So, yes, there definitely probably is another bird or some other birds around, but they just weren't hanging out in a group of 2 or 3 together. So,
yeah.
That's how my morning went. And then I walked back in the rain hoping lightning would hit me and soaked. And
hold your gun up.
But you had to have good breakfast.
Yeah, we had an awesome breakfast. Cooked bacon. Ryan Freeman brought over venison backstrap, eggs, toast.
Eggs were a little salty.
Couple beers.
You can cook next time.
I thought the eggs were fine.
I
put Freeman's sauce on them, which kind of neutralized the sauce. Yeah, it worked out. It was a great opening morning.
Great day.
I'm going to grab all these memory cards up and spend the rest of the day watching Blair and chipping away at videos a little bit.
When do you think this episode's going to release?
The podcast or the turkey hunting episode?
Turkey hunting episode.
Was this podcast going to be next, or is it?
Yeah, this podcast will be Monday.
Okay.
Yep. This podcast will be Monday. We recorded one earlier this week with Jay, but that's one we can save for when we're in trout camp if we don't want to, if we don't have time. If we don't have the ability to get one out in time, I'll be able to release that one when I want to. But yeah, this will be Monday's podcast. I'd like to release videos on Sunday night, but I don't know if I'm on a wait. I don't know if I'll be able to get the video done for this Sunday night, but I might be able to. It just depends on how much time I spend on today, and then tomorrow's Easter, so
yeah,
we're gonna hunt. Me and Isaac are gonna hunt in the morning. We'll be able to. It's not supposed to rain at all, so we'll plan on bopping around to a couple different farms and making plays tomorrow.
I want to go out tomorrow,
and then I can work on the video in my spare time. I might, if I get it done today. If I work on it hard today, it might be out by Sunday. I got to come up with an intro and a title screen.
Yeah.
Like every year, I do some kind of different intro graphic, and I got to figure out what I want to do.
But be on the lookout for this next video.
Yeah, I mean, when you're listening to this podcast, the video might actually be already out. So.
And then some upcoming podcasts where we have some really cool ideas for going trout fishing in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Isaac's working on being able to do a podcast from the river, on the side of the river. He's been working on wireless microphones. I wonder how long the batteries last in those microphones.
I think like 8 hours. They last a long
while
time.
recording.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
because you could use them just without attached to a camera too. Like you use them as a microphone and then put the audio. But yeah, it should be some cool content coming out.
Yeah, Isaac wants to dabble with that. I know we're about into leaky John boat season.
Uh-oh.
Yes, the new boat is
leaky,
almost ready for water, and then we're gonna be doing some walleye fishing, some smallie fishing in the rivers.
Update your company. It's not a John boat anymore.
Yeah, we're not. Well, I got the John boat, so
there is still a leaky.
I do want to do some videos on the John boat because it's fun, but it's not as good as walleye fishing.
Let's take it down.
No one wants to watch the fun fishing either. Everyone likes walleye fishing.
It's just like no one wants to watch the fun hunting. No one wants to watch turkey hunting.
Yeah,
they all want to see big giant bucks get killed.
So we got a giant cabin cruiser that I'm outfitting with all the trolling gear right now, and we should be out the weekend after trout camp. So sometime beginning of May. Look for leaky videos, walleye fishing.
I think I know this is like a broken record, but you need to get some more merchandise on there. We've been kind of stale with the merchandise.
We've been stale with the SBO merchandise for sure. There's a lot of vintage like fishing stuff on there now.
We need some turkey camp sweaters and shirts.
I know. Yeah, I need to get on
hats and, trout camp stuff. But
yeah. So that's the update with Leaky. We're going to be fishing here. Trout camp, there's going to be quite a few videos from Trout camp on the Leaky channel and the SBO channel. So
yeah, there will be a lot. There'll be a lot coming. You guys got anything else?
Think
You got to
that's
go
all?
breast out them birds and get on with our day, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Sound good?
Episode
91.
91.
closing in on 100.
Yeah, we are close. We're getting close, boys. We're gonna start recording this summer. We're gonna start recording.
It's almost
podcasts
been
out
2
at the
years.
lake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, and do catfishing.
yeah. Like we can
Oh, yeah.
record up there on the bar next to the lake.
Yeah, that'd be
All
awesome.
fishing.
We'll do it.
Can't wait.
Episode 91.
Yep.
We are out.
Out.